Yo, we are live right now. If you are in the chat, say what up. But this is your man JD tonight, running solo, kinda. Katie is around, but not exactly gonna be on stream tonight. So that might get some of you guys to instantly tune out. But otherwise, I'm here and you can hang with me. Um, we are going to be watching episode 7 of the Penguin series tonight. I ran through the first 6 episodes and I got a lot to say about them. So it'll be kind of fun tonight to hang out with you guys and watch this episode. So if you are in the chat with me right now, and I see there's a few, but if you're in the chat with me, go ahead and say what up. Let me know that you're here and I can get your comments on the screen and we can have a little bit of a conversation before we get going. First off, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please let me know. Please let me know. Oh, we got one person in the crowd. You're supposed to be sitting next to me right now, but you hanging out in the chat. That's fine. That's cool. That's cool. But yes, what up? What up? I love you. And I'm glad that you guys can hear me. Awesome. Awesome. Because as usual, I played with my microphone setup today. Hey, yo. And there was always something going on. Always something up, something weird, something crazy. But anyway, got it worked out. Got it worked out. Kids still awake? Yeah, I figured. I figured. But yeah, so tonight we are going to have a little bit of fun. We will be reacting live, and I shouldn't say we, I guess I will be reacting live to episode 7 of the Penguin series on HBO Max, which I honestly have enjoyed. Coming off of Agatha All Along and Love is Blind, which we're going to do a stream tomorrow for Love is Blind, 7 p.m. And we're going to go through the reaction video or the reunion video on that one. So, yeah, I really did enjoy what I've seen so far from the Penguin. And it's kind of weird to sort of like binge the entire series in a matter of 2 days, but I wanted to get in on this. I wanted to be able to live stream tonight because I know that episode 7 is coming on, and we kind of need something new to take the place of Agatha. So I don't know if it's going to exactly take the place, but we definitely need something new to stream as time passes on. So yeah, if you're in the chat, please say what up. I would love to get some conversation going on this show. So we got Katie in the crowd. Big shout, big shout. We got Cornelius, my man Cornelius, the producer, who is seated right to my right hand side, your left hand side, but he is off screen right now, but he is always with us. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So if you hear some sounds, they are likely from him. Sometimes I can do it, but most of the time it's him. So yeah, can we switch to cut the music out, cut it out? Okay, yeah, cool. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, let's settle in right now. For a little bit, I would like to first off discuss some of the things that happened in the series thus far and go over some of the characters that we've seen so far. And like I said, I would love for this to be a two-way conversation and not just a one-way conversation. I have no problem talking. So I can keep doing that if I need to, but I would rather not. I would rather you guys chime in while you're watching too. So first off, let's do a little bit of background on Oz. As many of you guys know, he is a major Batman villain. I would say one of the top 5 Batman villains of all time. And I don't know as much about the DC end of things as I do the Marvel comics end of things, but I know a little bit. I know enough to keep me going and being able to speak on this. So, but yeah, I am interested in how this series is going to sort of show the rise of the Penguin. Well, that's what I'm guessing. Um, we're getting some of that now. We're seeing his sort of humble beginnings and how he's sort of rising through the ranks to become a major villain for the Batman. And one of the cool things is this takes place in the same universe as the most recent Robert Pattinson Batman movie called The Batman. And watching it, the Penguin appeared in it for a little bit, but was definitely not an actual character who had anything significant to play in that movie. But um, watching now, the series sort of begins where the city of Gotham was flooded. There were several levees that were broken by the Riddler, I say bombed by the Riddler, and from there they ended up flooding the entire city. And you start off the show sort of through the lens of another character who's a young man by the name of Victor, who is eventually going to be Oz's, as he's referred to on the show, Oz's driver. So the most recent or the last two episodes that we've seen, we got a little bit more history and background on Victor and how he sort of had his rise up and everything that happened to him before and during those explosions. And yeah, he ended up losing his entire family. Like the whole family is gone. And it sort of makes him a very sympathetic character in my mind. And that's one thing that this show is really good at. And that's making people who you don't know a lot about, but turning them into sympathetic characters. So you know Oz, and that he ends up becoming a major villain for Batman. So you would think a villain isn't good, but you see some of the caring side, some of the positive nature that Oz has. And because of that, you sort of start feeling sympathy for him, or at least empathy, and you understand where he's coming from with a lot of things. So, um, yeah, I'm impressed with the show. I can't wait to see more, and I'm excited to be here tonight. So, to start things out a little bit, I am going to run through some of the characters on the show. So let me pull them up real quick. So yeah, and like I said, we're just going to do a quick sort of background on the characters as we get going. And then eventually we're going to watch a preview that is going to break down episode 6 and sort of comment on that as we go, as we get closer and closer to 8 p.m., which is the start time of episode 7. We won't be able to show it on here, but we will be able to discuss it. And you will hear me commenting on it live as it goes down. And if you guys are sipping on something, let me know what you're sipping on. I got a mix of all sorts of stuff today. Little twangy, but hey, it's good. But yeah, if you are watching right now, please jump in the chat, say what's up. Let me know what you're there. Let me know what you're sipping on, and let me know what you think of the show thus far. I would love to have a conversation with you guys about it. Also, going to hear me snacking on some Skittles. I got some Skittles Halloween candy. Can't be mad at that. It's kind of cool to peel for the kids candy the entire time where we were trick or treating, and then also the last few days I've been like, get a little bit here, a little bit there. So it's been fun. It's been fun. If you are watching right now, please, please, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you drop a comment, hit that notification bell so that we know whenever you are, or so that you will know whenever we go live. So, without further ado, let's break down a few characters. First character we're going to break down is Sophia Falcone, also known as Sofia Gigante now. Um, really digging her character. Um, and we had a comment. Jazz from upstairs. Thanks for checking it out, Jazz. I got people across the house watching the show. I need some more people to be watching this besides you guys. But yeah, let's go back to Sofia Falcone, also known as Sofia Gigante. Um, says she's a fictional character appearing in DC Comics primarily in association with the character Batman, debuting in 1996, 1997, comic book limited series Batman The Long Halloween, which is part of what the first Batman or the most recent Batman movie was based on, The Long Halloween. Um, she's introduced as a member of the Falcone crime family who assists her father, Carmine Falcone, in unearthing the identity of the holiday killer, a serial killer who had been killing Gotham City's citizens in correlation with holidays and the yearly calendar. So she is definitely a little bit different of a character in this show. She is, as we saw in one of the last few episodes, she was pretty much set to take over the Falcone um, mob crime family. And she also lost her mother to what she thought initially was a suicide. And um, she had a conversation with her father, and her father was breaking down to her, like, hey, I'm going to have you take over the reins from me. We know your brother isn't going to be able to take over the way that everybody needs him to because he's too much of a partier, too much of a loose cannon, doesn't have the heart for it or the smarts for it. And they knew that Sophia did. So he was going to have her take over, completely take over. And after her mom passed away, there were years, that went by, but she started being more and more suspicious of her father actually committing the murder. And she, at one point, had like a sort of a flashback to the moment where she saw her mom, and she noticed that her dad had like these defensive wounds on his hand, and like he had been scratched like right after she had hung herself, or so she thought. So fast forward to all these other women dying, and after they died, there was a reporter who had got a hold of the autopsy records and noticed that the women had defensive wounds on their hands and fingers, like they were fighting, and trying to fight off someone right before they passed away. So obviously, it wasn't just suicide. It was their life had been taken from them, and she sort of confronts her dad about it, not directly telling him that like, hey, I know what you did, more like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. You couldn't do that, could you? Oh, well, maybe you did. Okay. Just come on out and tell me. And the dad sort of just flipped the script and became, like cool but defensive. And he knew at that point that he was going to pin those murders on her. And he started rounding up doctors and lawyers and people who could testify in the family about how she had homicidal ideations. When she was younger, she was harming animals, doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And because of that, they ended up getting her committed to Arkham Asylum, which was she was only supposed to stay there for 60 days, I think it was. Or no, it was 6 months. She was only supposed to stay there for 6 months. And it turned out that she ended up spending 10 years in that place. So she went into it, and everyone started calling her the hangman. And in episode 4, I believe it was, she told, I believe it was Oz, but she told him, like, that's not my name. Like, don't call me that. And that sort of alluded to, hey, eventually we're going to find out that someone else was a hangman, and it turned out to be her dad. So um, I love her character. I love her character's depth. She seemed to be a decent enough person initially, but now that she's been through Arkham, she's definitely changed. We saw in episode five, yes, five, I believe it was, um, where she basically took out her entire family. Um, and she knew that in order to be on top, she had to get rid of them. And that's exactly what she did. And she hatched her own plan. That's one of the things that I like about the show is that these characters come up with some crazy plans, and the plans that they have end up like so elaborate, but they work. And like she had plotted out how she was going to kill all these, all her family, with gas in the house. And she spared one person and left their window open. She also spared another person, who was her niece, I believe it was. But yeah, she spared them as well. And but besides that, she took everybody out, all the folks, like each and every person out of her family who was in a position to sort of question her authority or question her birthright to be the leader of the Falcones. And by doing so, she ended up being on top. And once she got on top, she said, "I'm done with the Falcone name. I want to be going. I want to go by my mom's maiden name, which is Gigante." Um, and so now she's known as Sophia Gigante. Um, we ended episode 6 with her creeping in on Victor and his mom. And now we're sort of going to start out episode 7, I'm hoping, with a resolution to whatever's going to happen there. I'd have to feel like if they were going to kill Victor, who's, I mean, I don't really care about the mom, but if they were going to kill Victor, they would have done all that at the end of the episode and not bring us all the way to another episode. But this show has been kind of heavy on the drama, so I'm really interested in seeing where they go as far as that's concerned. But we haven't got all the way that far yet. Um, please, 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 if you're watching right now, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you're notified each and every time this channel goes live. Jump in these comments and let me know what you think about the Penguin thus far. Your comments will be shown on the stream. So
come on, come on. Do it. Do it. Come on, do it now.
yes, do it now. You heard Arnold. Do it now. So as we continue on with the character breakdowns, next we will roll with, who will we go to next? Let's see. Just did Sophia. Let's go to Victor Aguilar. And I really enjoy the actor who portrays Victor in this show. And one of the endearing facts about Victor is that he has a stutter. And that was one of the things that you could tell that Oz was sort of drawn to him by, was that, like he's broken too, like he was broken. And he wanted to help him in his own way. Now you have to think about the show does a great job at having characters who are flawed, but you feel sympathy for them, and also characters who you want to root for. And even though Oz is a villain and is a bad guy, you want to root for him. You want to see him win because he's the person that we sort of view the rest of the show through. And because of that, you want to see him like do well. You want to see him succeed, even if the things that he's going to succeed in doing are wrong and are bad and are horrible. So yeah, but getting back to Victor, let's see. It says Victor Aguilar is an ambitious teenager from a lower income neighborhood of Gotham City who lost his family in the flooding of Gotham City and is taken in by the Penguin to be his protege and driver during his campaign to take over Gotham's criminal underworld. So we've learned thus far with him that he's a normal person. He's a normal kid, and he has a lot of doubts about the things that he's doing. He wonders if, like, man, should I really be living this life? And I think we saw at the end of the episode where he crashed the car into um Falcone's, no, Sal Maroni's wife and the hitman that they had, when he crashed the car into him, that he was sort of proverbially crashing into the scene. Like, this is, I'm making a choice, I'm making a decision, this is where I'm at. Also seeing him take the leap to kill his, I won't say friend, but maybe associate Squid, um, that was a leap for him too. And I mean, it was kind of understated. It was weird that they kind of, I won't say they glossed over it. I'll say that they moved on relatively quickly. And that's major for him. And I'm wondering if there's going to be some psychological effects that happen as the show progresses this season, that we'll see that, like, man, that murdering somebody for the first time is getting to him. Seeing, that he had to go as far as he did and taking somebody's life is getting to him. Like, that's got to be rough. That's got to be impossible to deal with. So, if you're watching right now, my name is JD, and this is Watch Stuff with Us. Later on tonight, in approximately an hour and 8 minutes, we will be watching episode 7 of The Penguin live on the stream, and I will be commenting during that show and talking about everything that's happening. Won't be able to show it on the screen, but we will be able to discuss it, and you'll probably get all the spoilers you need by hearing me watch the show. So, if you're watching, drop a comment, please, and say what up. But yeah, getting back to Victor, lost his entire family in the flood that occurred after the Riddler blew up the levees in Gotham. Um, it was tough watching him sort of have the flashback when he was helping to pass out the new drug on the street called Bliss, when he was there to help pass it out, and he sort of had a flashback of everything that happened. You saw the explosions, you saw the water rushing in, you saw the bodies sort of floating away already dead. This is a kid with a lot of trauma, a lot of unresolved trauma, and you have to wonder which way that trauma is going to lead him. He's definitely siding now towards the bad side, but I do have some hope. I've seen some rumors that people believe that he may eventually be Robert Pattinson's Batman's like new Robin eventually. So that would be cool to see. I enjoy watching the origin stories of heroes and villains, and that's exactly what this is. Sort of a longer and more drawn out origin story. So um, trying to think anything else on Victor. I like his character. I think he's the character that we sort of view everything through his lens. Um, and you can definitely feel the emotion that he carries on a lot of scenes, like especially with him trying to take care of Oz's mom. He doesn't want her, like, he wants to comfort her. So Oz got mad at him, but he wanted to sort of roll with what she's seen, like his mom, and we'll talk about her a little bit too at the same time. His mom obviously has Alzheimer's, dementia, and is struggling to perceive reality, and she often mistakes whoever comes to interact with her as people that she knew when she was well. And then it also seems like she sort of snaps out of it at times too and jumps into a normal, like, more. You can see why Oz turned into who he did, because mom was kind of gangster too. So, yeah, but just seeing Victor sort of want to help her and go the nice route and encourage her to just, well, not really encourage, to feed into her ideas and what she's seeing, even if it isn't correct, sort of as a comfort to her. Whereas Oz is like, no, you got to like help snap her out of it. And whenever she does that or calls him by the wrong name or imagines that he's somebody else, he immediately tells her, like, no, that's not who I am. This is who I am. So interesting to see both of their takes on how that character is and why a person would either want to coddle a person with dementia or be upset and kind of harsh with a person who has dementia. So either way, Victor is a cool character to watch. Definitely interested to see more of him as we continue on and what his eventual choices are going to be, because if this show has proven anything to me is that each character will be presented with several choices, and those choices end up turning into different points where their lives can go one direction or another direction. And a lot of times shows aren't as deliberate in showing that, but this one seems pretty deliberate in it. Like you get these crossroad points with a lot of the characters, and I am impressed with Victor that he's trying his best to keep his good nature about himself, but it is fading away. It is fading away fast. So let's see if he can hold on, or if he even stays alive after Sophia gets done with him in this upcoming episode. So let's jump to another character. Who can we do next? Let's actually do the Penguin, and we'll talk about the actor who's portraying him as well. Let me whistle a little bit. If you're watching, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and a notification bell. Drop a comment. I'd love to chat with you. So yes, let's get to the main character of the show, the Penguin. Um, Oswald Cobblepot in the comments goes by Oz on the show and has dropped the pot from the end of his name, or in one of the B's. Just goes by Cobb, Oswald Cobb. So I don't know if they're changing the character to that, making that like his actual name, or if they're just sort of that's like his slang sort of shortened name that he's just using. But either way, um, first off, let's talk about how Colin Farrell is playing him. Um, I can only imagine how difficult it is when you have, you know, probably 20 pounds of makeup and a fat suit on to actually deliver lines with emotion, and to show your emotion through all that makeup, all those prosthetics, and to make you care about the character the way that Colin Farrell does. So huge shout out to him. I would be shocked if he doesn't walk away with an Emmy or something after his portrayal of this character, because it's been incredible. The range to the writers, they have to do a good job of writing the character, but you need somebody to bring that character to life, and he has done that. You get all of the emotion, you get all of the underdog feel from Colin as he's portraying Oz, and it's just incredible. So let's go back into seeing the description real quick. It says the Penguin. Full name is Oswald Chesterfield Cobblepot. Like, that's a heck of a name. Is a fictional character appearing in the American comic books published by DC Comics, commonly as an adversary of the superhero Batman. The character made his first appearance in Detective Comics number 58, December 1941, and was created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger. The Penguin is one of Batman's most enduring enemies and belongs to the collective of adversaries that make up Batman's rogue gallery. I don't know if you can see my shirt, but I had to rock my original gangster shirt tonight that features, where's the Penguin at? He's down here somewhere. I don't know if you can catch that on the screen. Let me look and see. Oh yeah, you can see it's right there. There he is. So yeah, had to rock that for tonight. But it says the Penguin has repeatedly been named one of Batman's best villains and one of the greatest villains in comics. Penguin was ranked number 51 in IGN's list of the top 100 comic book villains of all time. The Penguin is a Gotham City mobster who fancies himself the number one gentleman of crime. He is most often seen as a short, fat man with a long nose, who wears a monocle, top hat, and morning suit while carrying his signature umbrella. We haven't really seen any of those iconic things on this show yet. So yeah, he doesn't really have the nose. I guess the nose a little bit, but some of the other descriptors like the umbrella, the top hat, the long cigarette with the like extender on the end, the monocle, like none of that stuff has been on there. So I wonder if, since this is a more modern take on the Penguin, if they're going to even have him do that. I know that the reason that they call him the Penguin is because of a deformity that he has in his right foot that causes him to have a limp. He wears a brace, and because of that, sort of waddle that he has, he became known as the Penguin. And I mean, like, it's cool when you can have something that's negative about you be taken as a positive to some degree, or at least be in on the joke. So I don't know if he calls himself the Penguin, but that's definitely what the streets call him. So it's really cool to see him go about trying his best to navigate even with that disability. Which is one of the reasons why I think he was drawn to um, one of the reasons why he was drawn to Vic is that they both have these disabilities. They both have these things that are sort of broken with them. Vic with his speech, Oz with his walk, and that sort of drew them together. So, yeah, I enjoy the writing on the show. The writing has created a character and an environment and a world that seems real. It seems authentic, even though it's a comic book show. Like a lot of times you watch these shows and it's just like, oh, that would never happen in real life. I think that some of the stuff with the plots that they have and the plans that they have end up going off without a hitch, which was kind of weird and kind of unauthentic. But for the most part, I think the show is very authentic. The show comes off as something that could be happening in the modern day, and doesn't really appear to be something that's just like, oh, that's Gotham, it's not a real place, or that person wouldn't really do that in real life. No, these are things that pretty much would probably go down in real life. Maybe the cops and how they end up sort of letting certain things go, maybe that wouldn't happen, but for the most part, I think a lot of these things could go down the way they go down in the show. So if you're watching right now, we are just past 7 p.m. My name is JD, and this is Watch Stuff with Us. We are doing a quick breakdown on some of the characters from the Penguin. And at 8 p.m. Central Time, which is the time zone that I am in, and 57 minutes from now, we will be watching the episode 7 as it debuts on HBO Max. So if you're in here, drop a like and a comment and subscribe to the channel while you're here. But anyway, yeah, I mean, he's the main character of the show. So you would expect him to be written well. You would expect him to be acted well. And that's exactly what we get in this. I hope that we don't have him end up dying at the end of this series. I would love to see how they incorporate him into the movies. Like, I think that a TV show, and this is one thing that Marvel has kind of struggled with, is the integration of actors and characters from TV into the movie. So if we're getting all this background and all this detail on the Penguin, I really, really hope they don't kill him off at the end of the series, because that would really disappoint me. And it would feel like almost a waste of all the time that we spent and invested in Oz and seeing his development. So yeah, I hope that he lives. I hope that he's able to be sort of a maybe more of a background villain in the next Batman movie. And then from there, I don't know if he ends up becoming a main villain, but sort of as a guy always in the background. And then you can keep the actual TV show going too, where you see him continue to rise up the ranks, eventually becoming the biggest crime boss in Gotham. And that would be awesome to see. Like I said, just please, please, please do not burn this character and kill him off at the end of this series. If they do that, I'll be kind of mad, because then it definitely would be a waste. If you're watching right now, drop a comment. I would love to hear you discuss what you think of the show thus far. Let's see if we can get another character we can break down real quick. Let's go with Dr. Julian Rush. Dr. Julian Rush is the doctor who worked with Sophia and was also in Arkham while she was there. So let's see what we have about Dr. Julian Rush. It says Dr. Julian Rush is a former psychiatrist at Arkham State Hospital and the therapist of Sophia Falcone, of whom he is in love. He later joined her in building her criminal empire as her consigliere. So one of the cool things about the show is that you never know exactly who is going to turn into a major character. Like you've had somebody like Vic, who just seemed like he was a throwaway character at the beginning of the series, turn into be one of the regulars, the most important characters. And then Julian Rush, who just seemed like another doctor, ends up becoming one of Sophia's most trusted confidants, and also her a little bit more than confidant, if you know what I mean. And I wonder where his character is going to go as well, because I don't trust Sophia. Like if I was her lover, I would always be on edge. I'd always feel like, man, I'm like one step away from turning into dog food, pretty much. And she could decide that, oh, I don't like you anymore, and I'm done with you, and have you killed, or even kill you yourself. So, yeah, it's an interesting game that he's playing. I want to know what his end game is. And watching him as he was a doctor there, I didn't know if he was genuine with his sort of like caring demeanor towards her, because maybe the show was just trying to mislead us or something like that, but it seemed like he did genuinely care. And now that they're outside together, he definitely cares and is involved with her. So it sounds like, or at least they told us that he ended up leaving Arkham before she was released, so she kind of felt abandoned by him to some degree. But also it's like, hey, he felt like he had to get out, and he got out while he could. And because of that, um she to some degree feels like she can trust him. And now that she can trust him, he is probably one of her closest confidants, and is a person who she might be able to rely on to move the plot along. And usually when I say that, like there's usually characters who are sort of expendable but are there for a reason. So like, what is going to be his big reason to be on the show? That's what I want to know. We got a comment first off from Katie. What's up? So the major props to the hair and makeup crew. Yeah, hair and makeup crew is killing it. The aesthetic, like not even talking about Colin Farrell and Oz right now, but just the aesthetic of the show, the way it looks. I was commenting on the VFX from earlier today, and watching the flood when it occurred, and I'm like, man, they are like killing Marvel when it comes to the VFX. And seeing the way that they have everything sort of grounded in realism, like everything seems real, like it's authentic. And that's one of the ways that DC, I really believe, can separate themselves from Marvel, is that you have Marvel, which is more fantastical, more fantastical, just more not as real. And then you can have DC be more grounded, grittier, more adult related. And I hope that they continue to have these movies and shows be more adult. There's a time and a place to have the cheesiness, the more soft, the more comedy side that Marvel shows. But as an adult and somebody who's getting towards 45 at this point, like I've seen enough of the cheesy and the comedy and the Guardians of the Galaxy type stuff. I really want to see more of the grounded, the more grounded, the more gritty. Like I hate when people say gritty. Everybody says that, but the dirtier, more realistic side of comic books. And I think that's what we're getting right now with Oz and the Penguin. So, got another comment real quick. Colin did an incredible job. This may be my favorite role he has done, and major props to the hair makeup crew. Yes. Yeah, I've watched a lot of different movies with Colin Farrell, and just to see someone who's an A-list actor take up a character and completely envelop himself in the role, like you just know that when he was on the set, that he was constantly telling people like, oh, I'm not Colin right now, I'm Oz. Like just talk to me like I'm Oz. Don't address me as Colin anytime while I'm on this show. And just seeing him do that, like, it's incredible. And you can tell that he's devoted to it. Even walking with the limp that he walks with, like after a while, that is not comfortable. Like that is not something that you want to continue to do for weeks and weeks and weeks. And he did that for for the filming of the show. So like, man, that's rough. that is rough, but he was able to do it, and he's doing it very well. And like I said, I hope he gets awards for this because it's definitely a great acting role, and a great acting job by him. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got on Julian Rush. There have been some rumors, some murmurs that he's going to eventually turn into a different character, but I don't really think so. I think he's just going to be a doctor who he is right now, and sort of a confidant for Sophia. Um, I don't know if we should deal very much with characters who are dead, so um, we probably won't talk about Luca Falcone. We won't talk about Magpie. Maybe Magpie is still alive. I know Sophia bashed her head into the table about a good 5 times, and it looked like. I mean, I just assumed that she was dead, but maybe she's still alive. She was definitely a lesser villain in the comics, and to see her there, and she seemed like she was sort of a spy for Falcone, probably, or for her dad, and she ended up meeting her demise at the hands of Sophia. I think she might have been the first person she killed, which was, that's of note. That's a note. Um, yeah. Let's talk about Eve Carlo real quick. Um, awesome character and someone who obviously has a lot of street smarts. When Sophia was coming for her, like she knew that Sophia was going to be looking for her, she ended up bringing her up to her room and basically knew that she was going to meet her demise. So she just told Sophia to make sure that she doesn't mess with her girls. And Sophia ended up sort of sparing her after um, Eve had given her some information about Oz. So one of the cool things about Oz is that all the characters in the show seem to have people that they care about, and those people that they care about are what sort of ends up holding different characters back. And as far as Sophia knew, Oz didn't have anyone that he cared about, so they didn't have an angle to get him. But she, while she was looking through his apartment, ended up finding a picture of Eve. And with that picture, they tracked her down and ended up talking to her. So Sophia just said, like, man, here's the one person that I think he cares about. So I'm going to take him out or take her out to get back at him. And she ended up having a conversation with Eve that was extended and surprising because it didn't end with her dying. And Eve ended up, taking care of herself and giving the whereabouts of Oz and some detailed and privileged information, which eventually led her, or which eventually led Sophia to finding out that that Victor and the mom were staying in, I think it's called Crown Point, which is pretty much the slums of Gotham right now that has been completely overhauled by the flood, like no power, no nothing. So one of the revelations during that one scene too, because Sal Maroni was there too, and they both believed that Oz's mom was also dead, and she's very much alive. And I know that Sophia has to sort of be licking her chops, seeing his mom right there, and knowing that, like, man, I got her. I got somebody who actually that Oz cares about. Obviously, cares about her deeply because he has kept her hidden the entire time, and nobody knew of her existence other than a handful of people. And now that they know about her, I wonder if they're going to do something about her. And it seems like since Sophia's there at the apartment right now, right now, or at the end of episode 6, since she was there, it seems like she's going to do something about it. They showed her with a crowbar. Like, man, that's wild. Um, I think between Victor and Oz's mom, that one of them is going to meet their end at the beginning of this episode. I don't know which one is going to be yet, but one of them is going to die. If you got an idea who you think is going to be, drop that comment. Let me know what you think. If I had to guess, I would guess it'd be the mom. Um, I think Victor has a bit more character exploration to go through. It would suck to have a character who's been developed the way that he has end up dying right now. So the mom, she's a lesser character. I don't care nearly as much about her as I do Victor. So I'm hoping if we got to lose one of them, that we lose the mom and not Victor. But that conversation that they're going to have obviously is going to be deep. Is going to be interesting to see which way they end up going and which way Sophia ends up going, or if she ends up sparing both of them. Highly doubt that, though. Highly doubt that. What do you think? I see you watching. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. Let's see if we can get maybe one or two more characters. You got Nadia Maroney, who is the wife of Sal Maroney, and she ended up getting killed along with their son, who got burned at the hands of Oz. So that's sort of another thing that kicked off this whole situation right now. And while I'm talking about it, let's talk real quick about the allegiance between the Maroney family and the Falcone slash Gigante family. Um, I guess they're the haves. If you have to look at this show in terms of the haves and the have-nots, I would call the Falcone family and the Gigante family, well, the Falcone now Gigante family and the Maronis as the haves. They're the ones who have been on top and in charge of the city for for years and years and years, and seeing them be desperate enough to come together. Um, they really realize how much of an adversary Oz is, or maybe they don't. Maybe they just look at him like, oh, we can team up for this and take him out faster. So that's what they're gonna do. But I think they're underestimating him. And Oz also at the end of the last episode, I don't know if it's episode 5 or 6, but he was gathering his own crew of people, including the triads and different gangs around town, and sort of selling them on the fact that they're the little guys and they need to rise up against the sort of big guys and the big families. And that was cool to see. They all sat around a truck drinking beer and basically saying that, like, yo, we have an opportunity here. We have a chance here that we can take over. Um, Whether they trust Oz or not is a completely different thing. There's no way I would trust him. He might talk good. He might be able to provide some of the stuff that he speaks on, make good on some of the promises that he does. But there is no way in hell that I would ever trust him, let alone do business with him. And he is at least tenuously join forces with all of those families right now as they sort of begin and set up to wage war against the Falcone, Gigantes, and Maronis. So, yeah, she's an interesting character. She kind of ended up blowing up things. I think it was at the end of episode 4 and going into episode 5. So she ended up paying for that with her life along with their son. And that's part of the reason why Sal is as mad as he is right now. Let's see if I can get one more. Maybe more of a minor character. Most of these guys have already bit the dust, which is why it's kind of hard to do this. Let's discuss. We can talk about the mom a little more, I guess. Frances Cobb, definitely an empathetic figure, somebody who's struggling with dementia and Alzheimer's, and is trying to sort of pull it together, or has these moments where she's able to pull it together. And my heart really went out to her when Oz had found her in a bathtub, and she had obviously been there pretty much the entire night. And she was talking to him after he had got her out the tub and had wrapped her up in a towel. And he was basically, telling her that everything's going to be all right, just got to get you warmed up. And she was pretty much saying to put her out of her misery and to help her put herself out of her misery. Like, man, to realize, and that's why, like I said, you'll never get something like that in a Marvel show. Like they don't aim to go deep like that. But when you have a show like this and you have the character depth that these characters have, and the aim of the show is completely different from what a Marvel show is. And for her to say, like, you know what, I realized that I had dementia. I realized that I'm, losing my mind, literally losing my mind. And you can put me, or to help me put myself out of my own misery. Like, man, like that's rough. And to have that realization that you're losing it, losing your grasp on reality, like I it's almost like there's two people inside there, and you have one person who is the person who is living in the past, and then you have the other version of that same person who is living in the present and knows that they are sort of slipping and knows that they're struggling. That is incredibly hard. And I have seen people in my family deal with dementia and deal with Alzheimer's, and it is not pretty to watch. And my heart goes out to her, just seeing her want to, end it. You kind of understand it. I don't think Oz would ever, willingly let her go or allow her to do that. But just watching, like, I get it. I completely get it. So it is 7:22 right now, Central Time. The episode starts at 8 p.m. Central Time. So we got a little bit more time. So let's switch over now to an episode promo for it's going to break down episode 6, I believe. Yes. Breaking down episode 6 and give us some talking points. It's a channel that I watch all the time. It's a very good channel, Emergency Awesome, and they break down all these comic book shows, all sorts of details. So yeah, let's give it a little spin and see what they are discussing. And as it goes, I'll stop and make my comments. And if you got comments, drop them below. Yeah, if you're gonna subscribe to them, you better subscribe to us too. My name is JD. If you're tuning in now, welcome. We are going to be watching the episode live. I cannot show it on the stream, but I will watch and react to it when it debuts on HBO Max tonight at 8 p.m. So right now we're going to be looking at a recap of episode 6. If you like what you're seeing, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We are trying to get to 225 subs by the end of tonight. Last time I checked, we were at 216. So we got a little bit ways to go, but you can change that. So go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe button for me. But before we do, we will hit play on this and we'll break down or listen to this breakdown and also chime in with our commentary too. Definitely about money, but I think even more so than money is the perception of being a little guy. Like I talked about this before, but since they're bringing it up on here, I'll talk about it now too. The perception that you're the little guy and you're taking on these big dogs. Like people live for that, and especially if you are able to read your own press clippings, like that you aren't the top of the crime families, and you want your family to be at the top. You want your gang, you want your group, you want your crew to be at the top, and you need numbers to do that. And what he's going to do is band these guys together and saying that all of us little guys, if we combine together, we can take down the big guys, and then we can share and split the winnings amongst us, as opposed to letting the privilege, let these big families that have been running things forever, let them continue to run things and throw scraps at us, at the little guys. So I think that's more of what it is about than money. I know money is a major factor too, super important, but I don't think that that's the main thing. True. I laughed when they said that. When the I think it was the leader of the triads called him out and said, like, you don't have a code. And then Oz went into this whole speech about how he does have a code. And like, yeah, no, you don't. Your code is horrible. Your code is I will do whatever I can for me. I will stab you in the back if I have to. I have stabbed some of you guys in the back already. Like I said, I don't know why anybody would go along with this plot or this plan, but they seem to be doing that. So I would have to think that they understand the tenuous nature of their relationship, and if they are willing to go along with it, they have to understand that, like, man, this dude could be double crossing me at any moment. And Oz has to understand that they have to be willing to double cross him too, and he has to stay on his toes. But he always seems as though he's one step ahead of everybody else, even though they look at him like he's unintelligent, even though they look at him that he's all he has is street smarts. He has a lot of smarts, and it seems as though he's able to charismatically get people to follow his command. So, yeah, as we keep going forward, I really want to see how many of these groups really stay with him throughout this, and whether they try to sort of get back at him at a certain point, too. We are watching a breakdown of episode 6 right now. Episode 7 of The Penguin tonight comes on in about a half an hour. So I'll be watching that episode live tonight on stream. So hang around. And you can hear my comments on it while we watch it. So if you're watching, please, please, please hit the like button, subscribe button. Drop a comment. I would love to talk to you about this while I am watching. If you got comments or you think certain things about the show, let me know what you think, and I will put them on the screen too. Um, yeah, I might be running into some difficulties right now. Let me pull up this dream and see what you guys see. Difficulties. Huh. Decided to confirm you're not a bot. Lord knows I'm not a bot. So let me go ahead and change this real quick. I'm gonna edit it on the fly. If you are watching right now, actually, I'll do one better. Let me pull this up on here, and I will pull up Emergency Awesome. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm going to switch right now to here. I'm going to add a camera. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, so like I was saying before, I did not know that it wasn't showing. But see, that's why you got to let me know, because I don't know anything. I'm not watching my own stream. But yeah. So we're going to watch a quick breakdown of episode 6 that was done by Emergency Awesome. If there's any more technical difficulties and you're watching, please let me know. I would appreciate it. But I will go ahead and hit play right now on that.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This will be my full Penguin episode 6 video. There are a whole bunch of Easter eggs, Batman references, so we'll break it all down. Penguin is showing you just how good his talk no jutsu is, winning over all the other gangs in Gotham. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the episodes. The episode title was The Gold Summit, a reference to Penguin's meeting of all the heads of the gangs in town, besides the Maronis and the Gigantes Sophia's men. He's trying to bring them together as part of his Bliss operation, taking back Gotham, as he says. All bonded over their love of money. Like, really, this is just about money. They all just want to make more money. His whole speech is great. It's basically like a Scarface call to action that he's giving to all the city is yours, the world is yours, let's all take it. When really he's been ready to backstab, betray any deal that he's made with anyone. Like he talks about having a code. He does have a code, but his code is me above all others.
Agreed, as I said before. And I'm glad you guys can actually see this part now. But yeah, he does have a code, and that code is him above everyone else. And I could care less about what everybody else thinks and what everybody else feels. I'm going to do me, and I'm going to tell you that I'm doing this for the benefit of you. But it is not that way. So one of the cool parts and portions of the show that I like is that you don't like you he seems genuine. He's very charismatic. He comes across as a guy who's like, yeah, I'm about you. I'm about like especially with Vic. Like I really feel like he cares about Vic. It seems like he cares about Vic, but I got a feeling that we're gonna get to the end of the show and he's gonna have to choose between those two, between going down for something or some money over between the money and Vic, and he's not going to pick Vic, and that's going to really sort of tear Vic up, and that might drive Vic to actually being and becoming a hero. So we'll see though, but let's keep going with this breakdown.
All of his actions during the Batman movie and now during this series have shown you that he just values himself over anything else that he does, any deal that he makes with anyone about anything at all. So in any given situation, the one thing you can count on is that he will always betray someone if it's in his best interest. So the fact that he made this deal means nothing for right now. The episode starts with Penguin giving the same type of pep talk to his crew about how the power in Gotham is shifting. It's meant to parallel his speech at the end of the episode to the other heads of the gangs. How they're basically taking back the power of Gotham from the Falcones that are now the Gigantes and the Maronis, who used to be like the second most powerful crime family in Gotham to the Falcones. He implies that the Maronis and the Gigantes are in a very weak position right now.
Which they are. Like, they should not be, people should not underestimate where they're at, but they are in a very weakened condition right now. And they have suffered like a complete change in their infrastructure. And whenever, even like in a regular business, when you take out or all the owners end up leaving and you have new ownership, there's going to be a bit of time where things have to rebound and things have to get together. And Oz is seizing that opportunity right now to rally his troops to take them on while he perceives them as being weak. So we'll see if they actually are weak, but at least as of right now, it appears that way.
They kind of are, but you have to remember that he isn't up on all the current information, so he's really underestimating Sophia, and I think that's going to wind up biting him in the butt, kind of like it happens at the end of the episode when Sophia literally finds his mother is still alive in Crown Point. Like, oh, his mother is here, and she is alive. Don't you wonder how she's going to use that to torture him in next week's episode? A lot of big surprises coming for Penguin next week. Victor on the motorcycle coming down the tunnel feels very Batman Bruce Wayne coded from the Batman movie. They explained that he uses a motorcycle to get around the city during the day and sometimes at night.
Now that motorcycle thing, and I wonder if they're going to say it on here, but just seeing the whole like motorcycle thing and knowing that Robin, used to ride around on a motorcycle, maybe they're just throwing us a little bone right here. Maybe a little bone, little teaser, little hint that that's what the future for Vic is.
When he wants to keep a lower profile. Like the Batmobile attracts way too much attention sometimes, unless he's in a bigger fight and he wants to attract that kind of attention or that kind of fear. Penguin reveals how he's resurrected the Bliss operation with the remaining 2 buckets that he had after last week, using the humid underground environment in the tunnels to grow more. Most of us predicted this, like he kind of called this out last week, growing more from the existing supply because the tunnels have the perfect environment for it.
Yeah, and one of the big things about having a plant, or at least having some sort of plant-based drug, is that if you can get the environment correct, that you can regrow it. So him having those 2 buckets left over at the end was like super good for him, because if he didn't have those, it would have lost all of it and wouldn't have been able to continue to produce the drug.
And it seems like it's going really well for him. Would be a real shame if it all came crashing down on him all of a sudden. Make all the Breaking Bad cooking memes. The red reminds me of the blue crystal. What are they cooking? This whole intro to the episode is Penguin's Scarface moment, like the big montage where you see him winning, earning all this money, taking over this empire. But you remember what happened in the Scarface movie. Right after that montage, they start to show his downfall. So the same thing is basically happening to Penguin in this episode. They show that Victor is carrying a gun on him all the time now to foreshadow him eventually using it to kill Squid.
Yeah, he needs to carry a gun on him all the time. It was shocking that he had gotten as far as he had without carrying that type of weaponry on him. Like, it's dumb to not to do something like that at this point. He has to know that he's a marked man at this point too. Things and word travels along the streets, very quickly. You can see that Squid even knew that he was messing around with Oz already. So, yeah, you definitely got to be strapped and take care of yourself.
Victor's whole arc on the show has been him going darker and darker. We'll see if he turns into a bigger Batman villain from the comics eventually, or if he winds up getting himself killed off and is more of like a tragic collateral damage situation as Penguins rise to power. Anytime
They don't talk about it on here, but I still think maybe he could become a hero. Maybe that's just the good in me, wanting to see the good in one of our characters. But yeah, whatever it is, even if he does end up becoming a villain, like, I really want him to continue on. I like seeing the origin story and the build up between these types of things.
you see Penguin getting really close with him, like he thinks of him as a younger brother, like a younger version of Penguin. You're just like me, kid. You grew up in the same place I grew up in. What if something really tragic winds up happening to Victor? They've already been foreshadowing that something really terrible is going to happen to his mother eventually, too. Don't worry, we'll get to that because there's a very specific part of the episode that I think tells you all you need to know about what's going to happen to his mother eventually.
Like I said, I think she's going to bite the dust. If I had to choose between Vic and her, I would rather she bit the dust. But yeah, she kind of wants to die anyway. So I kind of think that she's going to get taken out because of that. And not that she's willing to die in a situation like this, but she is more so tired of her dementia and knowing that she's, slowly losing more and more of her mind.
Also note, according to Penguin, if anyone asks, you got all this cash, this giant bag of cash from construction. They're doing construction. We're all in construction. The whole idea here is that
everybody that's a gangster always has construction as their like business of choice. I guess that's always been a thing.
If a cop finds them under the tunnels, they're trying to explain why they have so much heavy machinery down here. Like, oh, we're doing construction. That's why we need all these big machines. Victor returns from another crew in Gotham, selling the bliss for them. They're distributing it all over Gotham, so they're working with many different gangs, and eventually it's going to become a problem, which Penguin tries to solve at the end of the episode. The idea that all the different gangs in Gotham hate each other's guts. And, at least right now at the beginning of the episode, there's still a...
Like they say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, so that's definitely what Victor is trying to sell to the other groups that he's trying to align with.
Afraid of the Falcones, who are now the Gigantes and the Maronis. He mentions all the other rival gangs that we wind up seeing at the end of the episode, like the Low Boys, they're from Batman's No Land. Most of these are all from different Batman comics. Some of the different gangs were also featured during the Gotham TV series too. Penguin is just like the HBO.
Did anybody in the chat right now, did you watch the Gotham show? Like, I definitely did not watch that. It seemed like it had decent reviews initially and then just sort of like fell off and faded away. I know that some of the characters seem kind of cheesy, and like that's my thing. Like, if you're gonna do these types of shows, like, you can't make them cheesy. You can't have the characters be like trash. Like they have to be good. The shows have to be well done. They have to have a relatively high budget. You can't just do it cheap, or else you end up looking like the CW Flash show, and that was horrible. Like I've heard some good things about it, but I refuse to watch that because I saw a suit the first time. I was like, no, can't do it.
HBO version of the Gotham series, just like bigger, better looking. Currently, he's claiming that the key to international distribution is Feng Zhao and the Triads because they have the international contacts necessary to distribute the bliss around the world, and that's where the real money comes in. Right now, they're mostly...
The crazy part about that, the bliss drug, is that mushroom is real. The the like sort of red secretion that it has is real. It doesn't cause the side effects that they show in the show, and they haven't turned it into an actual drug, but the mushroom and its look actually is real. So it's kind of cool to see that they at least base part of this in, you know, some real life science and real life natural plants.
Just local to Gotham City. They set up the whole power storyline with the utilities grid and the idea that Crown Point has not been getting any power since the Riddler attacked, because most of the city's attention and all their resources have been diverted to the richer neighborhoods, which becomes a big arc later in the episode too.
And it's funny that they even mention that, is because that sort of thing happens in real life. Like, you will notice, and if you are able to, if you're in a big city, or even if you're in a smaller city, like I've noticed it here, that more affluent neighborhoods, like when there's a bad storm or something's going on, those neighborhoods get their power back faster, or they don't end up losing it at all. So a lot of times you have to think that, like, man, are they diverting the power to these sort of nicer neighborhoods and letting the ones that aren't as good sort of like fall off to the wayside? I hate to be that type of conspiracy theorist, but I really believe that those types of things end up happening.
This is meant to remind you that the Riddler's attack during the Batman movie mostly devastated the poorest areas of Gotham. None of the rich people that he was trying to go after were affected by the actual flooding, so it's meant to be kind of ironic, like you did the opposite of what you were trying to do. So at least in that way, Riddler is kind of an idiot, even though he's positioned as being this very smart person during the Batman movie. Penguin also explains one of his big secrets here to rising to power is by helping the people in Crown Point, putting them on his crew, putting a bunch of money in their pockets, which makes them way more loyal to him, which will be important in the future.
Yep, bottom off. And I mean, that's directly from the playbook. Like, if you were going to, if you were going to um if you wanted to gain the favor of people, the easiest way to do it is with money. And of course, giving them jobs and allowing them to do things that they believe are helping their city. Like, let's not talk about the drugs right now, but let's talk about you working on this project right now, helping us get and divert power away from other people into our neighborhoods and get our own power turned back on, which is what ends up happening by the end of the episode. So it's an easy sell, I would think, for anybody who happens to be living in Crown Point at this point in time. And I think it'll be really easy to tell those people that, like, man, they don't have anything right now, but hey, I'm going to give you money. Come help me out on this project. This is really actually beneficial for you and your people. So if you're watching right now, my name is JD. This is Watch Stuff with Us at 8 p.m. tonight. So in about 5 minutes or 15 minutes, the episode 7 of the Penguin will be dropping on HBO Max. We cannot show the episode online, but I will be watching it and reacting to it live, and you can also watch it and react to it with me. So drop a comment, let me know where you're from. This is an open conversation. Feel free to let me know what you think about the show so far as well.
That was this big talk with Victor, like, you know why they're loyal? Because we pay them really, really well. So at least in this way, Penguin thinks of himself as a very Robin Hood type of figure, like stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, because he kind of does that later in the episode with the power. The whole speech about being the guy in the neighborhood who takes care of people is his reference to the grand scheme to become just like Rex Calabrese, the mobster that everyone respected when he was a child. His mother also references Rex Calabrese at the end of the episode too. When he says they're going to tell stories about us one day, our names will live forever, that's also a bit of a wink in real life at the Batman comics, like the Batman mythos, the Batman movies, because they will literally tell stories about Penguin and Batman, the other Batman characters.
And it's so funny when you look at the old Batman shows, they always portrayed the Penguin, or like in the old movie, like they portrayed the Penguin as like almost animalistic and stuff, and like he was eating fish and all those sorts of things. Like, it's funny, and I know that those original Batman movies were more comedic, but it's cool to see this take on the Penguin, in that he's more of a gangster. He's more like, even though he doesn't appear to be smart, he's very intelligent. Very conniving, very cunning, very able to make plans and run projects that others aren't able to do. And he's also charismatic as well, which helps him to be able to sell those projects and those plans that he has to people who otherwise might not be willing to roll with him on those projects and plans. So I like seeing that aspect of him. I like seeing him portrayed like that, as opposed to this guy who's running around like, when he was Danny DeVito and eating fish. Like, no, that was dumb. I wasn't feeling that. Even as a younger kid, like I remember watching that and it's like, oh, is that it? Or even once they got to like Mr. Freeze, I think Mr. Freeze is a character who's super cool, but has been portrayed like goofy, like having the Arnold Schwarzenegger, play him. And I think that if they were able to bring back Mr. Freeze now, you could really do something with that and, sort of lean into more of the legitimate side of what his powers could be. Like, yeah, he could freeze people, or he could have a gun that freezes people, or he could do things that lower the temperature in the area and, kill people. Like, that would actually be kind of cool, as opposed to the more comedic and, maybe more comic accurate portrayal that he has on the second and third Batman movie from, way back in the day, back when I was a kid. But yeah, let's get back to this emergency awesome breakdown of episode 6 as we get closer and closer to the debut of episode 7 on HBO Max at 8 p.m., which is about 12 minutes from now. So stay tuned.
Till the heat death of the universe. During your lifetime, you've probably already seen them recast the Batman, reboot the Batman franchise a couple times. In the next 50, 60 years, they're going to do that at least 6 or 7 more times. Then we go to Sophia's house. It gets real spicy, showing her post-sex with Dr. Rush, who's tight.
Real spicy. Yeah, she was. And I mean, I liked her when she had on the yellow dress. I wasn't really feeling this black outfit, but it's kind of cool that they show initially she was kind of ashamed of her scars that she had on her neck. And also she has some scars on her shoulder, it looked like. But in this episode, she was either comfortable being with the guy she was with, or it's sort of showing her now coming out of that shell and saying that yeah, I have these scars, but they're a part of me and I'm not afraid to show it now. And maybe it means that her self-esteem has risen up so far that she's okay with yeah, I have these flaws, but I'll still, I'll still be able to handle business.
Tied up in a chair. This is probably part of her kink now, living out a power fantasy, dominatrix style, where she gets off on hurting him, and he's gone all masochistic, like he enjoys being hurt by her. This is meant to be caused by her time in Arkham, like it's a big reversal. She used to be the person who was preyed upon. She was probably sexually abused while she was in.
And we do have a comment real quick, and I know you're not the only person wondering, but big shout out. It says, yo, you got any free live streaming links to watch it live besides HBO? It says, I got work tomorrow. I'm not trying to stay up too late. No, I don't really have anything beside HBO. I mean, of course, I got a Fire Stick. I got other ways of watching it, but I am a paying subscriber to HBO Max, and that's the only way. Anything that I'm doing on the show, I got to stay on the up and up, got to do it legit. So, yeah, I don't have any other links. Like I said, I can't show the actual show on here, but if you want to watch along with me, or at least listen to me comment on the things that are going down, I will be doing that. Like I said, the show starts in another 10 minutes. And until then, we will be going through some of the stuff that goes on in episode 6, which is what we're talking about right now.
In there too. Now she gets off by being the person to do that to other people. This is also why at the end of the episode she asks for the doctor's help in developing a new torture method for Penguin, all because she wants to inflict the maximum amount of pain on him without killing him. And because he was one of the doctors at Arkham for a long time, he'd know exactly how to do that. So talk about getting freaky here, like it's getting real spicy with the two of them. And if it wasn't clear, I think they were pretty obvious with her performance during these scenes. She does not really care about him that much. She's just using him as a distraction, and she knows that he's obsessed with her, so she's just taking advantage of that. She doesn't actually have any feelings for him or anything like that.
Which is sad, and I mean, I'm sure she views him as just another pawn, but and she's been used and abused so many times during her 10 years in Arkham and by her dad, that I'm sure she has no reason to feel or to feel bad about what she's doing to him. It's just sad that he's so gullible that he's going along with it, and eventually that's going to lead to his demise. I'm almost 100% certain of that.
But he is simping her something fierce. She goes to the kitchen. They have all these great cooking scenes with Salvatore Moroni. He opens a bottle of old wine, which they share a joke about Carmine being
Yo, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I can't talk or I can't show it on stream, but yeah, I'll definitely be talking about it as we go. So yeah, if you want to follow along, I appreciate it. Hit that like button, subscribe button too.
dead because they both hated him for different reasons, but they both really, really hated him. He's apparently been hiding out at her mansion since he escaped from Blackgate. He's still on the police are still after him, so he needs to stay under the radar. They confirmed what Victor said. Sophia's people were watching him and lost him when he returned to the tunnels. We get a little more of Moroni's storyline too. He just explains why he's cooking these dishes that he learned from his wife Nadia. Basically, when he married her, he took on all of her culture because he loved her so much. We literally just saw Penguin burning her alive with his son, which he also references. Really seemed like he enjoyed that too. Like the coldest thing the Penguin has ever done. We will see if he tops that before the end of the series.
I'm certain that he's going to top that. If he ends up becoming the villain that he is in the comics, he's definitely going to top that. And I mean, you sort of felt like what he was doing was justified to some degree. So I think what's going to completely throw him into the actual like villain category is doing something to harm like good people. And then that's going to make us be like, oh man, like now I understand why he's one of the, the worst villains in the entire, rogues gallery, as they call it, of Batman villains.
Series, because that's pretty hardcore. The way that Moroni looks at her when she's eating the dish that his son liked, it's almost like he thinks of her kind of like
shout
a
out
father.
to Trey Porter. What's up? Thanks for dropping by. My name is JD. This is Watch Stuff with Us. We are about 7 minutes away from the episode dropping on HBO Max. I will be watching it live. I cannot show it on stream, but I will be commenting about it. And if you have it, it would be cool if you synced yours up with the stream right now. And then as we go, you can comment on it too and listen to me talk about it. So appreciate you for dropping by. Please hit that like button, subscribe button while you're here.
But like she reminds him of his dead son a little bit. We get a lot of good scenes of the two of them just working together, working through their problems. We'll probably get a little bit more of this in the last 2 episodes because there's only 2 episodes left in the series. Really
I did not know there were only 2 episodes left. So, yeah, I'm guessing this episode tonight. I wonder if they're going to go the Game of Thrones route or if they're going to go the regular show route. The Game of Thrones route is that episode, the second to last episode of just about every season of Game of Thrones is always the one where like the biggest things happen, and then the last episode is sort of like just the aftermath and tying everything together and giving you a preview of what's going to go down in the next season. So if this is going to be more than one season, I'm guessing that if they have stuff go down, it's going to be on this episode or towards the beginning of episode 8. I don't think that they would want to leave a ton unresolved going into this season because you don't know if they're going to be able to get another season of this show. I doubt it. And if they're going to be able to get another season of the show in before the Batman 2 comes out. And I think it comes out in 2026, I want to say. But either way, I don't think that they'll have another season of this show before that point.
Hoping most of those characters survive to whatever's coming next, like the Batman 2. I don't think there's going to be a season 2 of the Penguin, so maybe some of those characters will come back during the Batman 2. But really, if there are characters that come back, probably only going to be the Penguin and Sophia. Back at Penguin's apartment, he remembers his childhood at Polly's Diner with his...
I mean, as for me, I would love for them to do a second season. Like I said, the more that they can show the Penguin sort of growing in the background, and then maybe by the time you get to the third one, he finally takes on Batman, that would be awesome. It doesn't seem like villains normally, like it's more of a Marvel thing where villains end up dying immediately in the movies and TV shows, but these main villains in DC tend to just last forever and keep coming back and keep coming back. So I hope that they don't just sort of off the Penguin and use him as a sort of throwaway villain for this series right now. We're about 4 minutes away from the drop of episode 7, so hang tight.
Brothers. His mother starts to have an episode when she starts going on about her music and the terrible situation with the power and the food. Just everything becomes a lot for her to deal with. It's meant to set up the end of the episode when the power does come back on, and she has like that brief flash of happiness right before the other shoe drops and Sophia shows up to capture her. The basic idea on this series, on a lot of TV series like this or any movies, is that anytime anything good ever happens to a character or anyone achieves any sort of victory, right after they are swiftly handed their asses. Nothing good comes without something terrible happening to them right after.
Yep,
Just like
that's true. So you're guessing something terrible is going to happen immediately at the beginning of this episode. So, like I said before earlier on the show, on the stream, I really hope it isn't Vic. Really hoping it's not Vic, but it wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me at all.
The Sopranos or Game of Thrones, the series in general cribs a lot from tropes and characters on The Sopranos. Like Penguin's mother is meant to be a lot like Tony Soprano's abusive mother. Very complicated relationship between those two pairs. When she starts to have her dementia,
you also see a lot of parallels between The Sopranos and the Penguin show. Like they definitely took their lead and a lot of their notes from that show and have incorporated some of those same things into this one. And I mean, The Sopranos is one of my favorite shows of all time. So that's probably why I'm digging this show as much as I am.
Episode, she starts mentioning Rex Calabrese, fixing the power. I think she's confusing Penguin for his father too. He gets mad at Victor for indulging this and for mentioning his brother. Like, keep my brother's name out of your mouth, because it's so personal for him. I'm sure in the next couple episodes, we will get more information about how his brothers actually died. It was probably something really hardcore. My early theory is that Penguin had something to do with them dying and it was an accident, and he's just been carrying that guilt with him this whole time.
100%. That's what it's going to end up being. It wouldn't make sense for it to be any sort of accident or something like that, because he would have taken out the person who did that, unless it was his mom and unless she caused it. But other than that, it had to have been him. And he definitely carries that guilt and that grief. And that's why he doesn't ever want anybody to bring them up.
And that's why he doesn't want to talk about it. Then he learns about Sophia and Sal Maroni going around and warning the other gangs to not do business with him by cutting the fingers off a couple of their men. Now, the severed fingers are meant to be a direct callback to Penguin cutting the finger off of Alberto's hand. Sophia wanted him to see these on the news and instantly realized what it meant. There's a big Batman comic book reference you probably detected during this scene too. Byrne Street on the News is a reference to DC comic book artist John Byrne, who did a lot of Batman back
That I did not know.
in the day. His new plan to circumvent Sophia is to...
Looks like we are about 1 minute away from the episode dropping on HBO Max. My name is JD. This is Watch Stuff With Us. At 8 o'clock, in another minute, I will be switching over to HBO Max and watching the episode live on stream. I cannot show it on the stream, but I will be watching. And I asked you to get your HBO Max and pull it up on your screen, and also throw me on a little screen and listen to me talk about it as we both watch it together.
Give the bliss away so that the other gangs will get so pissed that they're not earning money on it.
That's like drug dealing 101. Got a new product, got to give it away for dirt cheap or free to get everybody hooked to it and to gain market share. So like that's drug dealing 101. Not like I sold drugs. I just, I watched a lot of shows.
And that they'll make a deal with him also too to get people around the city addicted to it so they won't care what happens to them just because they want it so badly. The first taste is free, but then you gotta pay for it. It's an oldie but a goodie trick. Victor winds up running...
So funny watching this and seeing him like make some of the same comments that I make before, we hear about him on the show. But I'm going to go ahead and switch off of this because the episode has dropped, or at least it's 8 p.m. and it should have dropped right now. Let me refresh my HBO Max and see if the episode is live yet. No, not yet. So we have had issues with HBO Max. I know I was watching the Chicago Bears Hard Knocks, and there was one episode that it was supposed to drop at a certain time, and they ended up dropping like an hour and a half later. We better not have that, because I don't know if I can keep talking this long to just nobody. But let's see. I'm going to keep refreshing and seeing if we get it to show at some point. Nope, still don't have it yet. So I guess we will continue to watch this. Yeah, Trey, not yet. Like I said, man, like I do not understand why HBO Max does this. Like That's one thing I say about Disney Plus, Marvel. Like when it was time for Agatha All Along to drop, like it would drop at 8. It was there right at 8. Like I don't know why HBO Max is slacking the way they slacking, but I'm not feeling it. They need to get their stuff together. So I'm gonna refresh this one more time, see if it's there, and if not, we'll continue on with the emergency awesome breakdown. Um, no, still not there. Man, annoying. So annoying. So annoying. You keep an eye on it too, Trey. Let me know if it goes on there. Seattle Ryan, yep, not there yet. Man, thanks for dropping by though. I appreciate you. Please hit that like button, subscribe button while you're here. We will be talking about the episode as soon as it drops. Uh-oh. Seattle Ryan says it's up. Let me hit the refresh button and see if it is up. If it is, do not start watching it yet. You got to watch it with me. I don't see it on mine. Maybe I got like the bootleg HBO Max. Hold on, let me go home real quick. Says new episode. No, I still do not see it. I don't know what you did to get it to pop up on yours, but it is not showing on mine. I will keep refreshing and make sure you confirm that it like really is up. If it's really up, let me know. All right, yeah, keep waiting. I don't know why it's not showing on mine. It is definitely not up on mine yet. All right, let me try again, see if I can refresh. No, not there. No, all I have is episode 6. I do not have episode 7. Let me check one more spot on here. What is the deal? This is making me mad. No, all I have is episode 6. Trey says it's not up for him. Yeah, like I don't see it. Like I don't know where it's at. Whatever you did, Ryan, I don't know. But you got some real good, you got a real good version of HBO Max. One that I definitely do not have. All right. Trey says it's up. Oh, okay. And Seattle Ryan says, okay, they must have released by region. All right, let me hit this refresh again. Oh, I think I just saw it pop in there. Yes, it is in there. All right, guys. So the episode is up and is live. Don't start it yet. I will get mine up and we can sort of talk about it together. Please drop your comments as it go. Like this would be fun. That I can comment on it as it goes, and then you guys can do the same. So wait a second. All right. Clicking on the episode now. I'm gonna see if there's a recap. If there's a recap, I'm gonna skip it. So it's loading up now. We got some kind of other random thing. A preview of some show. Okay, here's the actual episode recap. I'm gonna turn mine down, but I'm gonna be skipping the actual episode recap. And I'm gonna turn on closed captions on, read it, and skip the recap. All right. The HBO logo is on there now, so hit play and we can watch this together. Let's Go is right. I'm super excited about this. Episode's entitled Top Hat. Yes, sir. Looks like we're getting a little bit of Penguin flashback right now. Yes, and I missed the part of him waddling over because I'm sure he had to waddle in. Yeah, definitely a kid. definitely a kid. If you're tuning in right now, I am watching the episode 7 live. If you have it as well, go ahead and stream it with me. And you can also drop your comments and I will display them on the screen as we watch together. Hey, Jack, yes, definitely the brother. There's two brothers. Hmm. Seems relatively normal. Mom just kind of popped right there, which is, not really crazy, but, a little normal. I wonder why he's like on the outside looking in though. Like that's hmm, maybe a little bit jealousy. I'm sensing a little jealousy. Hmm. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of hints of jealousy right there. Just because he didn't even care about his other little brother trying to play with him. He was like moving out the way so he could watch his mom. So yeah, I guess he was a little jealous. Or at least that's the sense that I'm getting real quick. What do y'all think? Yep. 100% jealousy. Stay home or stay out until the street lights come on. That was all the rule. I never really did that. I still couldn't even stay out that late. Yeah, he definitely had a nasty limp back in the day too. It seemed even worse then. Dang. That's one of the Falcons, I bet you. Yep. Hmm. Already can tell that Oz idolizes these gangsters. I wonder what that was that he gave him though. Hmm. Yeah, he got the nasty club foot. I ain't talking about the dancing club foot either. We are watching the episode live right now. If you are watching, sync your HBO Max stream up with me. You can hear me talk about the episode live. Can't show it on stream, but I can discuss it. So his brother was getting money from him, but he was telling him he wasn't a good guy. I still don't know what did he have to do to earn that money for him. Just so you guys know, I will be here next week again, starting at 6:30, to do, or actually starting at 7 to do a stream for the finale of the Penguin as well. So make sure you guys come back. We can hang out again. Yeah, yeah, I could kind of see that too. It looks like that's what I mean. There's no reason to show that jealousy, or maybe he has some sort of point where he can like um sort of choose what's gonna happen, and he like maybe sees his brother struggling or something, and ends up like leaving him. Like, and yeah, I, that's definitely gonna end up playing a role in it. Definitely gonna end up playing a role. In it. Where are they even at? Like, what are they looking for? Just decide to go look for some stuff. Subway tokens. I know he. Oh, so this is how Oz knew about the subway stuff from the last episode. knew like how the tunnels like went all the way underneath the city and stuff. I mean, you already know he's gonna slip on this thing. Mm, that ain't a good look. Yeah, they know he got that bad leg, man. Oh, oh, and was it gonna flood? Oh, he just left? Are you serious? He just went to the crib? Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. That is tough. Come on now. Yeah. In the subway for sure. And definitely closed them in. Like, come on, man. Yep. Yep. He definitely did it. Definitely did it. Like, how can you do that? I mean, like, it's I wouldn't even joke and play like that. Look, he said, I wanted to be with you. Mm, wanted to be with his mama. Uh, look, that's all he wanted. That's all he ever wanted. Just me. That's messed up. All right, I was wanting some things to sort of like not like Oz because the way the show had been going, like I was kind of digging his character. Like, oh, I get it, I get, he got a disability, all this stuff. Like, you kind of pull for him, but like seeing this now, mm, it didn't dawn on him that like it's raining and it's gonna flood. I think so, Trey. I think so. Yeah, like not on purpose, but I think he locked them in there, and that rain was coming down, it's flooding, and they're gonna end up drowning. Which y'all sipping on tonight? I got a little bit of lemonade and tequila. Yum yum yum. I bet he manipulated them to kill them. It looks like next time. If you are just tuning in right now, I'm JD. This is Watch Stuff with Us. I am watching episode 7 of Agatha All of the Penguin. And I can't show it on, but if you would like to watch it with me, you can start yours up. We are at about um, 11 minutes into the episode. So flooded in there. Mm. The top hat stuff, which the episode is entitled. How can he just chill? He knows they're stuck in there. He's just chilling. Yeah. Every second of it. Every second of it. He did it on purpose. 100% did it on purpose. Out of his complex. Exactly. Exactly. Mm. Got the power back on. Oh shoot. Yeah, I forgot. We got Vic and the mom in the apartment with Sophia. At least they were at one point. So Vic is okay. Good. Mm. Hmm. I'm surprised he even cares enough about Vic. Hmm. Yeah, I'm surprised he even cared enough about him to do that. Told him to go get him an army, huh? Sal. Figured. Figured. Yep, here he come. I don't know how Oz gets out of this alive. This is where TV magic comes into play, I'm sure. Something stupid. Mm. Mm. So Sophia is the reason they can't kill him. She must want it. Or they want to punish him first, which is goofy. You get somebody down, you better take him out while you got the chance. What is Sophia doing, man? Making some toast, you know. You might as well kiss your mom goodbye, Oz. I'm sorry. Like you decide to do something like this and to live this type of life, you can't have anybody you care about because they're gonna come after you just like this. No, he's not. We're looking at Sal right now. Hmm. Sophia is wild, man. And Oz for the longest didn't want anybody to know that his mom was still alive. Don't blame him. We shall see. We shall see. Hmm. Options. You're right. I wouldn't believe for one second that she's gonna let either of them live if she had the opportunity to kill him because he took her brother. If you're just tuning in right now, I'm JD. We're watching episode 7 of The Penguin on HBO Max. Hit that like button, subscribe button, please. It really helps us to grow the channel and to keep doing streams like this. And if you're watching, jump in the comments because I'm talking about it and you can talk about it with me. At least his mom is lucid right now. She's not doing all the dementia stuff right now. Got a bum leg, no father. Yeah, she definitely played a role in shaping him, I'm sure. But we'll see how much of a role she had in that. Mhm. Dang. She coming strong. Coming on strong. Hmm. Rain, rain. Mm, man, like I've never known somebody who had dementia like that. Um, to like go in and out of it so fast. Hmm. Hmm. Wonder does Sophia actually care? She can't. She can't. Hmm. I wonder if she's gonna do something with that boiling water. I hope not. Well, she ain't gonna torture the old lady. I agree, man. Good acting. The lady that plays Sophia is amazing. Awesome acting. Yeah, totally agree. I'm gonna have to look her up after the show is over to see some of the other things that she's been in. Hmm. Said Gia saw something, huh? And this dude, like, I know that he sorry for her, but like, what a creep and a loser. Like, get yourself together, man. All for a piece of booty. And these Oz's dudes counting the money. They in the basement with Oz's stuff. Man, there's two dudes taking all these folks out. No, I was gonna say she's been in them many amazing shows and films. Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out. Dr. Rush activated. Yep. Yep. Oh, she was in a resort. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Wow. Dude is willing to say anything to get out of a situation. Hmm. It's crazy, man. Like, you know he's gonna get out of it, but like how? I wonder if he's gonna try to like rally up the people down there to fight for him. Yep. Smart. Like, that was stupid on Sal's behalf. Like, go down there. Like, it makes no sense. Like, they was coming in there and they took out two people. Like, Sal has like six people, and you got a good 30, maybe 40 people down there. Sal can't be healed from all the stabbing that he got either. All you gotta do is pop him in the stomach a few times. Hey yo. Did, did he just die? What? This dude just had a heart attack. Come on now. I don't like that. They could at least had Oz take him out. I don't like that he just out the blue with a heart attack. Wow. Hey, I'm JD. I'm watching episode 7 of The Penguin right now. If you're watching, you can turn it on. and comment and watch with me. I am at minute 28. So now he's trying to talk tough to a dead man. I beat you. I don't know if I could take that as a W. I don't know if I can take that as a W. Dude just died. Like, heart attack died. Now he got the ring on again. Yeah, heart attack, man. Yep, heart attack for sure. But still, like I'm not gonna take that as a dub. Like, and he's jumping hard, like he really did it. Man, so are there any Maronis left, or are they all gone now? Mm. Oh, that's Gia. Yeah, she got sent to like a almost like an orphanage or something, or a children's hospital, or yeah, I think like an orphanage. I know it seemed like Sophia always had like a soft spot for her, but Gia's mom was always talking bad about her, so I'm sure she doesn't trust her. Yeah, finality is right. Yeah, definitely over. And if somebody were to find a body, they'll think that he did it, so he can take more credit for it or get more credit for it. A mask? Gas mask. Okay. Mm. When is she gonna have to take Gia out? Like, man, you talking about the lower the lower she's gonna hurt a kid. She put the kid in the children's wing of Arkham. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know if it's exactly Arkham, but it's definitely a place for kids that have issues. I'm sure she feels no remorse for doing what she did either, though. Even if Gia doesn't have parents. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Man, I keep doing that. Like right before they say something, I'll make the same comment. Pretty good at this. I don't know how your parents dying can be a gift though. If anyone is joining in right now with this watch party, everybody is at about minute 32, almost minute 33. If you want to join in and watch with us. Big shout out to Seattle Ryan and Trey for hanging out. And Katie Joe. She's in another room. So she did what her father did to her. Yeah. Exactly what he did to her. So seeing her reaction now, she definitely does have feelings for Gia. It's nice to see her be an actual human here too. Like, even though she did something horrible, it's nice to see that she actually does have at least somebody she cares about. That look on her face. I would never believe him though. Even if he's offering her all of that, I would never believe him. So is she really gonna do it? Hmm. One institution to another one, huh? It's weird that she's having all these feelings now though. Like it doesn't as hardcore as she's been up until this point, this is like a drastic change. Yes, it's a little bit jarring to see her struggling the way she is after she had been holding it together and running stuff for as long as she was. Was it Gia? Like, did Gia just make her feel like this? Okay, this makes more sense. She's snapping back out of it. Wants him to feel pain. I get that. So it sounds like she don't even want to be like a boss or anything. She just want him. She's out for revenge, pretty much. Hmm. Black G wagon. What you guys thinking right now? Are they both gonna make it out alive? Somehow I think they are. We know Penguin isn't gonna die. But somehow I think she is too. Or she's gonna be alive too. Oh boy. Car gonna blow up? She ain't even there. At least Sophia isn't there. Hmm. I knew she wasn't in there. Oh man. Mm. Mama in the trunk. Hmm. I was gonna say a bomb. Dang, I was gonna say it was a bomb. Mm. Oh, like the same door that he had his brothers in. Dang. Mm. I agree, man. It surprised me that this show is this good. Like, and after the first episode, I wasn't so sure. Then it's like increasingly gotten better the entire time. I don't curse on this channel, but yes, you are right. So she took his business out, and then the mom is still around though. So now she's gonna take the mom out. So we had a flashback, mom taking him out for a night on the town. Kind of weird, but okay. Hmm. Hmm. So this is where he got his devotion and his drive for his mom, I guess. It's a lot to put on a kid though. Like, why is she having this like discussion with him? Like she needs some friends. Agreed. Agreed. It's the best show going right now. Even better than Agatha All Along that I just finished watching. Oedipus Complex. Yeah, man. Like creepy. Creepy. Super creepy. Like it's yeah, creepy. Definitely. Definitely. So he knew he was gonna survive. Still gotta get his mom back. Got some more strength in that leg than when he was a kid, I guess. Dang. Dude, where'd she get that much explosives from? Fake Vic. Oh, this dude. He was killing me when he took them drops the first time. His eyes was popping. He looked like a drug addict. He don't look like no sort of cop. Is that it? Oh, yo, yo, yo. How many minutes was that? 45? Man. Okay. Dude. All right. That okay. I don't like the way it ended because they keep doing the whole cliffhanger ending. But man, that was it felt like those 45 minutes flew by. Flew by. Um Seattle Ryan says, out of the ashes, the penguin is born. Yes. That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like. Um, I think he's gonna be the one to end his mom. Wow. Hmm. So okay. Well, explain how we get to that point. How do we get to the point where he's gonna be the one that ends up taking out his mom? Like I can get that it's gonna be like maybe a choice that he'd have to make, but the only way I can see him taking out his mom is if yeah, I don't know who can manipulate or how is he going to come to the realization that she's brought a lot of this stuff into his life for him to get to that point where he's going to take her out. Let me hear your theory on that. Um, yeah, not two shows left. We definitely got one episode left, and that's a. If they're just doing 45-minute episodes, I don't know how we get to I don't know how we explain everything in the next, 45-minute burst. Like I feel like there's so much story left to tell. Um, they can't just end this show after one season. They have to keep this going. There's so much story to tell. Um, Victor is still out there gathering an army. Yep. I don't even feel like they really need an army now. Um, so how deep is Sophia right now? Like it seemed like she just I guess she sort of inherits the Maroney gang. Um maybe it's because yeah, I guess they probably come out. Somebody's gonna have to take over, even though Sal is dead now. So somebody will be there to take over. So the Maronis are still gonna be in action. And they'll need an army for them and the rest of the Gigantes. Um Why was this episode called Top Hat? I guess is because the top hat that the characters in that movie that him and his mom were watching were wearing as they were dancing on stage. I guess that's why. Um, and yeah, Seattle Ryan agrees. Um, Top Hat is referring back to the show he watched with his mom after he killed his brothers. Yeah. You might not have been here for the beginning when I was talking about it, but yeah, if the second or the last episode, I don't think that they'll be able to do another season of this show before the Batman 2 comes out. Does Batman 2 come out next year or the year after? I want to say it's next year. So there's no way they'd be able to get that going. Even if it was 2026, they wouldn't be able to get uh another season of the show out before the movie comes out. So yeah, I want to see any sort of tie-ins that they have, any tie-ins that they have coming up with that, how it's going to lead into it, who's going to be the main villain. I don't think the Penguin's going to be the main villain for the Batman 2. I would much rather prefer they sort of let the Penguin build up on the side, and maybe we get another season or two of that show, and then by the time you get to the Batman 3, then the Penguin can be like a true adversary, and not one of those adversaries that is like a one movie villain. Like, no, we need these guys to keep going, keep going. Seattle Ryan says 2026. Yeah, I thought so. But yeah, I don't think that they'll be able to get another season of this show out before the movie comes out. So I'm guessing that movie will probably come out summer 2026. This one just ended now. There's no way they're going to jump into production for the next season next year already. So yeah, it's going to be after that. It wouldn't shock me if they jumped into another season of this or start filming it at least in the end of 2026, and then maybe at the beginning of 2027 we'll get it, or maybe around this time at the end of 2026 at the earliest, at the very earliest. And that's if they get everything taken care of and you get a script and everything and start filming at the end of this year so that you can go into the next season. So yeah, I don't think they'll be able to do that. That's a quick timeline and turnaround. So it's kind of scary to think that you won't get any more of the show until 2027, but we could be looking at that. But yeah, like I dig the show. I really enjoy it. I can't wait till we get some more. Seattle Ryan says, "Who do you think makes it out alive?" On here, I don't think they're going to kill off the Penguin. I don't think they're going to kill off Vic. I think his mom dies, and I think Sophia dies. I don't know how, but that's my guess at this point. I feel like Sophia's arc has to end with her dying. There's no way that they can keep them. They can keep the Penguin and her sort of like battling for a whole nother season. Like, she needs to be taken out. Like, you can't send her back to Arkham, but she's gonna have to be taken out so that he can continue his climb up the ladder of bosses in the city. Rush, yeah, I mean, he has some potentially some comic book ties, so I could see him surviving. But his character though, like he comes off as weak. I know that he has some ability, but I don't know if they're going to capitalize on that. So if I had to guess, he's not going to make it out alive, or they just won't talk about him. Like, I don't think he'll be a character that we'll see like necessarily die on screen. So I guess if he doesn't die on screen, he's going to survive. But yeah, I don't really think so with him. But yeah, like some final thoughts, I guess, on the episode. I don't know how we finish it all up, but if I had to guess, Oz is going to survive. Vic is going to survive. I think there has to be Oz's mom is going to go, because at this point, the only person who he's left that he would have ties to would be Vic, and Vic came along like much later in his life. So, yeah, I definitely feel like she's gonna have to go, and if the Penguin's going to become the villain that he is in the comics and like really be that hard-hitting villain, he's going to have to sacrifice somebody to get to that point. And I think the mom is going to be the one. Seattle Ryan says, well, thanks for the watch party. I enjoyed it. I went ahead and subscribed. See you next week for sure. Since you subscribed, I'm going to have to let you know, and this is so cheesy, but I appreciate each and every person that subscribes to the channel. It's tough being like a little YouTube channel in the beginning and like getting out your content and stuff. But I'm glad that you were able to click on and check it out and liked enough of what you saw to subscribe. And yes, we will be back next week at 7 p.m. probably. I started today at 6:30. That was probably a little early. But yeah, I'll be back next Sunday, 7 p.m. to be ready for the finale. And like I said, I appreciate you jumping in and subscribing to the channel. Hit that notification bell. We will be on, me and my wife, tomorrow night for a live stream talking about the show Love is Blind. Like, I can't think of two more polar opposite shows, but we will be on tomorrow night talking about Love is Blind, the recap for that. So yeah, if you like that show, or even if you don't, just want to hang out, stop on by. But yeah, as I tell people all the time, once this music comes, know that we are about to end the stream. For each and every person that hung out with us tonight, I truly, truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Yes, as Vin says, we don't have friends, we got family. So if you have subscribed to the channel and you enjoy what you see, you are not a friend, you're not just a subscriber, you're a family. And if Vin can say that, I can say it too. And I can't stand Vin Diesel and all his crap, but it makes for a good sound clip. So thanks for checking out the show. Like I said, we will be back tomorrow for a live watch party for the reunion episode of Love is Blind. Then we'll be back again on next Sunday for a watch party for the season finale of The Penguin. Probably be back on some other point during the week too to do a watch party for some Mr. Ballin videos, because those are always fun too. So thanks for checking out the stream. I appreciate you. Again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button on your way out. Drop your comments below too, because we can keep this conversation going. Yeah, without anything else, I'm JD, and thanks for watching some stuff with us. Peace out.